Nation, welcome to the Wednesday webinar series. I am so excited for today's call or webinar. I've been thinking about this call since last Wednesday, and I'm just so excited because of the knowledge that Jenelle has, and her husband Craig as well, because they really are a dynamic duo. But I get the pleasure of introducing to many of you and reintroducing to others Jenelle Kim. She's the keeper of her family's secret Bibong formula, which have been handed down within her family line for centuries. Jenelle holds a Master of Science degree in Traditional Oriental Medicine and is nationally board certified in herbology, Oriental medicine, and acupuncture. She further studied abroad, training with some of the most respected doctors and herbologists of East Asia, and is responsible for formulations behind the Revive and Beauty Fine lines. Her goal is to share these herbal formulas so that others can experience powerful benefits in their daily life. And she's chosen to do that through the product lines she's formulated for Kannaway. But with all that being said, and all those accolades, and all the degrees, and all the knowledge that Jenelle holds, the most important part and the thing that I like the most about Jenelle and Craig is who they are. They truly, 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 truly care about helping other people, and they proved it to me last week, and they didn't have to. My wife, as many of you know, suffers from Lyme's disease, and these products have really done an amazing job. She's 20 years younger. She doesn't suffer through some of the things that she used to suffer through, but some days she has some bad days. And I was telling Jenelle and Craig that, and without any hesitation, they said, we can take care of that. And they shipped out some stuff to my wife, and again, they didn't have to do that. I didn't expect that, and it's because of the people that they are, and we're so blessed to be in business with both of them, and I've come to love them both. And not only are they our partners, but I'm proud to call them my friends. And with that being said, Jenelle, please take it away.
Thanks so much, Brad. That's a really wonderful introduction. I much appreciate it, and we feel the very same about you and the entire Kannaway team. So it's different on this webinar. You know, I kind of wish I could see all of your faces, but for now, I suppose this will do. I thought about this, how I wanted to intro, and I appreciate, Brad, your introduction of who I am and some of my background. And of course, I could go into further detail, but I really sat and I thought about it. And I thought, what is the most important? How am I going to let those of you who haven't met me yet, and those of you who I haven't spent too much time with yet, or even a little bit of time, how can I tell you a bit about myself and what it is that I'm here to share with all of you, which is Bibong formulas? And I thought about it, and this is how I want to begin. I want to begin by asking all of you a question. And my question is this: where are you in life? So what do I mean by that? What makes you happy? What makes you fulfilled? Are you where you want to be in life? Do you have a purpose? When you wake up in the morning, are you excited about something? Do you have a good challenge? Do any of these things ring a bell? You know, I say this because this is probably the best way to get to know me and what I'm about to share with you. This is exactly how I wake up every morning, and basically how I go to bed every evening. I ask myself these questions because in Eastern medicine, Eastern philosophy stands very close by. It's very much a lifestyle, which is another reason why I want to enter this way. You know, of course, I'm here to talk about formulas, and I promise you I will delve into that today and probably many more times with all of you. But it's really important to me, and part of my mission in this lifetime, to make sure that I am able to, on this incredible platform and with this opportunity, be able to share with you exactly what it is that I wish to share, which is that these formulas are powerful, these Bibong formulas. But also with these Bibong formulas and the power that they carry is the lifestyle that it brings, because that's part of it all. That is what Bibong formulas is all about. So, having said all of that, what is a Bibong formula? Because that is ultimately, I'm sure, why you all are wanting to hear me talk in the first place. In short, Bibong is defined as secret formula. It's that simple. Bibong is secret formula. In East Asia, particularly in Korea, because that's a Korean word, my lineage does come from Korea as far as my family lineage. But of course, my lineage and these formulas stem back into China, since that is where medicine first traditional Oriental medicine first began. So Bibong formulas mean secret formulas. Why are they so secret, and what does that mean? They're secret for one of the reasons why they're secret is that they have been handed down from generation to generation through my lineage. And it's been a very closely guarded wisdom, let's say, wisdom and knowledge. People within my lineage have literally dedicated their lives for one purpose, to better understanding the human condition, both mind and body, and through that understanding, working to gain the ability to know how to properly balance that human mind and body condition. Because that is ultimately the most important thing in this lifetime. What is more important than your health? Without your health, you really don't have anything. Everything that you're doing, all those questions that I asked you in the beginning, doesn't mean anything if you don't have your health. And then second to that, as an herbologist, and my wish is, of course, I wish to have and I wish to take care of myself so I have that health, but my wish very right next to that is being able to help the lives of others. So important to me. And I want to make it very clear that with this opportunity, every single one of us have that ability. Every single one of us has that opportunity. And I say that to myself daily. I think I shared that with Brad and the team, the last time we all spoke, because it means that much to me. When we wake up in the morning, we care about ourselves, making sure that we have proper health. And how do you positively affect the people around you, your loved ones, the people that you come in contact with every day? Isn't that probably the most important thing of life? We all work so hard. There's stress in this life. This life is not always easy. So at the end,
Uh-oh, it looks like we've lost Jenelle for a second. Hopefully the connection comes back. I apologize, everybody, for the delay, for the technical difficulties we're having. I know Jenelle and Craig live in La Jolla, and maybe they're having problems out there in La Jolla. Because it is kind of isolated, very nice place. So with that being said, everyone, you get stuck listening to me while we're having some technical difficulties, and until Jenelle comes back.
I'm back. How long was I cut out for?
You were probably out for about a minute.
Okay, so that was the most important thing I have to say. It was really nice talking to all of you. I'll see you all next time. No, I'm totally kidding. Of course, right? Anyways, I hope you all get what I was getting to. I don't know where I was cut off. I'm not going to repeat everything. But ultimately, what I want to get across is that these Bibong formulas come from my lineage of doctors and herbologists who dedicated their lives to making sure that they understood the human condition in such a way, and that wisdom kept getting passed on and kept advancing based on the wisdom and the root where it started. And that is what I bring to you today, these Bibong formulas, the secret formulas. So what makes them so secret? Why have they been passed down from generation to generation, throughout all these centuries? There's one reason. And this is the most important thing that you should leave this webinar with today, and really any time that we meet. Okay, this is your key. They have been handed down, and they are secret formulas because they work. Okay, so of all the things I say today, all the educational pieces that I'm sure have been put out or will be put out, all of that is of course so important. But really the main thing that you ever have to know is that the formulas work. All you have to do is share them, and you will hear for yourself what they do. Okay? So again, it's not that simple, but let's carry that in your arsenal. So you never have to feel like, oh, what is it that I'm sharing? There's so much about all these herbs and all these ingredients. You don't have to know about all that. Know that they work. Okay?
Yes. You said I could interrupt you.
Yes.
And you would lose your train of thought. I know you, and you don't lose your train of thought. Can you explain how far back, Jenelle, does it go exactly? Can you just?
Okay, so I love this.
I found that fascinating. I'm a history guy, so I found that fascinating.
Okay, you got it. So this question, of course, it's natural for this to come up. And the correct way that I can answer this is this, Brad. In Eastern philosophy and East Asian medicine, it goes back so far, it's outdated. You know, this is a 5,000+ year old medicine. So the exact date, honestly, I couldn't tell you. I'd be lying. Of where the formulas that these formulas that I carry with you today are rooted. However, a date that I really like everyone to hold on to, because this is like a pivotal point in our formulas and in our medicine, is that these formulas stem from the great Dr. Hojun, who is he was born in the 1500s, and his book, the Dogi Bokam, went into the 1600s. So it dates that far back. Okay. And so that's probably, I always say that is probably the best date to kind of hold on to, but do know that it dates back way before that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I hope that answers that question.
Yeah.
Yes. So again, these formulas have been handed out for so long. They're secret formulas. Why? Because they work. And why do they work? Because of one root thing. In Eastern medicine, and in Western for that matter, in all medicine, the most important thing is to make sure that your body is in balance. Because when your body is in balance, everything works properly. It can be that simple, right? So if all your organ functions are functioning at their optimal level and doing exactly what they're supposed to do, that means the food that you eat, the air that you breathe, all the things that you put into your body that you need to survive are able to be assimilated properly in your body. And here's another key: they have to be absorbed properly. And whatever is not good for you has to be eliminated properly. And that really is a very broken down, fundamental understanding of how the body works. So why these formulas are so powerful is that they can create that balance. So at another time when we have more time, I can go into a little bit more, but ultimately it has to do with qi in Eastern medicine. So qi runs throughout your body. At this point in time, I imagine everyone has heard of qi on some level, whether you know what it is or not. And it's very simple to understand, or not, but I'll make it simple for you. Qi is what's making me sit here and talk to you right now. It's what's making me move. Qi, you can almost liken it to your circulatory system. In fact, qi and blood travel together. So you can imagine that in your body you have this whole system of qi. There's a set system just like your blood vessels in the circulatory system. You also have certain meridians, is what they're called, or channels, that qi flows. So just as you can picture blood flowing throughout your body, so does qi. And both of those need to flow properly. Like I said, when things flow properly, everything functions, and then you have balance. So that's one way to break it down and understand it from a very fundamental level. So when everything's flowing properly, you go about your day, whether it's something you eat and maybe doesn't digest properly, whether you're walking too fast and you run into the door, and you have a bruise, whether you have too much stress and your mind starts to become a little bit stagnant, or overthinking. All of those things start to make exactly what I said, stagnation throughout your body. So things aren't flowing properly. That's all you have to know. And when things don't flow properly, they don't function properly. And when things don't function properly, they become imbalanced. And that really is the key. So so it sounds so simple. Just keep your body in balance. And in fact, you hear it all of the time. But really, what does that mean? That's not that easy to do. Although it can be if you have the right formulas, the right tools in your back pocket to help you achieve that balance. And that is what Bibong formulas do. They are properly, I always like to break it down, that Bibong formulas you can understand in 3 main points. Number 1, like I said, they're secret formulas that have been handed down from generation through generation through a family lineage, or through a lineage, okay? Number 2, they're the most properly balanced formulas. So what does that mean? And this is the key of why really no one can ever compete with Bibong formulas and why they are what they are. Anyone can, with all due respect, take a whole bunch of herbs or ingredients and put them in a formula. And it can have some effect. But when you have a formula that has been passed on for generations to generations, that this particular formula I'm talking about it's the most perfect recipe. That's how you can think of it. The formula is not any one individual herb, and that is what true herbology is. It's having a group of herbs and knowing precisely the dosage of each one, so that formula is so perfectly balanced, so that when it goes into your body, and this is what's the third point about Bibong formulas, they are able to work with every single individual condition. What that means is this perfectly balanced, powerful formula goes into your body, and you can think of it as a whole bunch of doctors running throughout your body and going through each individual person and kind of fixing the imbalances within inside of you. So Brad, you may use any one of our formulas. Let's say Revive. You may use the Revive formula and take it inside, and it might start to work on different things for you than it would for me or anyone else. It may work on different things for you in the morning versus when you take the formula later on in the day, or another formula. And that's because change. Everything is always changing. We're dynamic people living in a dynamic environment. And the most important thing for us to do is to learn how to keep that homeostasis and that balance. And so when you take these Bibong formulas, they're tools that are known to be used throughout your life as like the best food that you can give yourself on a daily basis to be able to keep that balance, meaning have everything function in the proper manner and be able to eliminate all the bad things in our environment, the stress, so on and so forth. Okay, so I hope that kind of breaks down exactly what a Bibong formula is. So again, proper formulation that creates balance and makes everything function properly. So that's a very short breakdown, for me at least, of what a Bibong formula does. And that is what is in every single one of these products. And I have to mention that one of the reasons this is so very exciting to me, and for those who have not heard this before, this is an incredible opportunity, and I'll tell you why. This is the first time, really in history, that Bibong formulas have ever gone out in a way, like to the public in the way that they are. These were once closely guarded just for royalty families of East Asia. That's how it worked. So centuries ago, royalty families of East Asia would go out and find the best doctors in the world, or in that area, I should say, at that time. That's more accurate, thousands of years ago. And these best doctors would bring these types of formulas. And so the royal families would never want them to be let out because they were so powerful. And so really, there's only one other company that I can think of in the world called Amori Pacific, and they have like one Bibong formula, or I shouldn't put a number on it, but they have a limited amount of Bibong formulas, and they are incredibly successful, okay? But what I'm presenting to everyone today and through Kannaway are an arsenal of Bibong formulas that are so powerful, and these formulas were once closely guarded by the royal families of East Asia. So I asked permission to see if it was okay to take these formulas in the manner that we're taking them, and this is the first time in the history of the world, really, that we are allowing these formulas to go out in this way. So what I have to share with all of you today is that this is revolutionary, and I take it that incredibly seriously. When we first began, I never thought that I would be sitting here with all of you, to be honest. I did not know exactly that we were going to be working with CBD. That's something that never even began to cross my mind. I do believe that it was somewhat serendipitous. It just so happens, as some of you may have heard me say before, no matter how wonderful the opportunity, if an ingredient does not work with this perfectly balanced formula, I would have taken it. It doesn't work that way. You can't take an ingredient that throws off the balance of the formula and try to make a formula, or try to make a product. It won't work that way. So when I heard that we could work with CBD, I thought about it for a little bit. I know that CBD comes from the cannabis plant, and that actually is one of the herbs in our materia medica, and so it actually can work properly with Bibong formulas. And so after some thought, I thought, okay, let's do this. There must be some meaning behind why you all came to us. And so I kind of just have included CBD in our family of herbs. So that's kind of how we came together, and why I'm sitting here with all of you today.
Well, thank you, Jenelle. And can you talk a little bit, Jenelle, about how everybody's body is different, and how me using the Revive Pro may act differently than Blake using the Revive Pro, or you using the Revive Pro, and why that is. I know everyone has a basic understanding. We're looking at each other. We're not the same. That's not the same size. It's not the same sex, so on and so forth. But just a little bit of how the formulas and the CBD knows what to do, if you will, knows what to attack, or saying, okay, Brad, you're deficient in 1,000,000 things. Blake's deficient in 500,000 things. You're not deficient at all in anything.
Well, then I wouldn't be human, I suppose. But that's the beginning of my answer. We're all human, okay? And so, Eastern medicine. I'm going to go through this and try not to spend another 10 hours with all of you. But Eastern medicine came from looking at the universe, and it goes back to how I'm going to answer to begin is it's all about balance, as I said before. But now I can delve into it a little bit deeper. The way that our medicine first began 5,000 years ago is that they looked at the universe. Okay, so what is balance? Balance, sometimes you hear the concepts of yin and yang. So let's start there. And Brad's like, oh my gosh, why did I ask Jenelle this? I'm going to be on the phone all night long. No.
No.
Okay, so what is yin and yang? What is that balance? Just as there's night and day, just as there's good and bad. And actually, as you just said, Brad, just as there's male and female, there's always there's always that balance of yin and yang. That is what yin and yang is, okay? And you can never, it's never in, the one constant is that it's always changing. That's the one constant that we have. So as human beings, I'll repeat, as human beings, the most important thing is to make sure that what we put good things into our body, that they're assimilated, that they're absorbed properly, and then whatever is not good for you is eliminated properly. And that those are the main keys. Okay, so you think about this, and as you travel throughout the day, okay, you go to sleep at night, and actually here's a little tidbit. It's always very good when you take the soaks, it's recommended that you do take them in the evening. Okay, because when you go to bed, your mind is able to relax a bit, especially if you take Revive PM, that's the whole purpose. You're able to relax your mind, calm your body. You have those, hopefully 5 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Your body calms. You wake up in the morning, and then you start your day. And their change is still happening. It's a dynamic process all the time. Your body constantly has to balance, just like the days always turn, day to night, night to day. Just like there will forever be man and woman on this earth as long as I understand. So that understanding of each individual condition, it will never be the same for any one or in comparison or in yourself. So how I am with you right now, in about 5 minutes, something can happen in my life where I'm walking or whatnot, and my condition changes. And that's true for every single one of us. So, okay, so that's that basic understanding of why it's so important to try to achieve balance in your life. So then you take these Bibong formulas. So why are they so able to go into each individual condition? Remember, I said they're a balanced formula, a proper formulation that goes inside. And even the way that formulation is built. In Eastern medicine, it's built with different levels of, you have your king and you have your general, and then you have the envoys and the messengers. It literally is like this formula goes into your body. And I don't like to use the word attack because it kind of seems like there's a negative connotation. But in a certain sense, that's what it does. It goes in and it fights for you. How many things fight for you on a second basis in this life? That's what they do. They go inside and they completely they're number one, they're able to be absorbed properly into your body, which is why it's so important to have a properly balanced formula. Then your body loves it, so it absorbs it all and assimilates it all. And then it goes in and finds all those imbalances I was talking about, right? So Brad, you might be able to say you have a headache, okay, and say Blake has an upset stomach. Okay, headache, upset stomach, two different things, but in fundamentally, it's an imbalance. Okay, so these formulas go inside. It finds in you, okay, this is the cause of your headache, and it starts rebalancing that aspect. It goes into Blake. Okay, this is the imbalance that's causing your indigestion, your upset stomach, and it goes to work. And so that's kind of, you can imagine, it's like an army going to work in your body, and that's why it works for each individual person, and it works for us throughout the day as we take them. So I hope that answers.
It does, and that's such a true statement, Jenelle. Just for the time that I've been here, I mean, you've got the testimonials that we get, the calls that we get, that it helped me with this, it helped me with that. It's just, I had a wart on my finger for as long as I can remember. I'm 53 years old, so for the last 47 years, I've had this wart on my finger that drove me crazy. And, I had one. And I don't know what did it, Jenelle, whether it was the salve, whether it was a combination of the salve, the detox pills, everything that I do, because I do the whole regimen. Just
right.
One day I was brushing my teeth and noticed my wart was gone. And yes. I couldn't wait to get home. I was in San Diego to show my wife because, and it was crazy. And
yes.
From people with split ends in their hair to a migraine, and you put a little salve on, it's gone. It's just, it's amazing to me. And I'd heard, Jenelle, and you talked about this, that roughly every 5 to 7 years your body changes. So I may never have allergies my entire life, then all of a sudden next year I get massive allergies, right? And from nowhere, right? Is that true?
Yes, that's right. And actually I'm going to correct you on that, Brad, because it's not from nowhere, right? So oftentimes, another thing, I started this whole conversation by saying I really wish for everyone to know that this is a lifestyle. And part of what I mean by that is I really wish that we all become more aware of ourselves. We are so, as a culture, as a whole, are so unaware of our own conditions, and it has to start there. And so part of that is, I sometimes, I shouldn't say that, but let's put it this way. Oftentimes people say, well, I work out so much and I eat the best food, and so I'm so healthy. Okay, well, that's very good. And in fact, that might be true. You may be much healthier than someone who does not do those things. But as a human being, you have to constantly purify yourself in such a way. And so it doesn't always come from nowhere. Sometimes it can, because an imbalance can be more acute and it just occurs. But something that I really wish for everyone just to keep in mind, and to, I should be able to educate on this a little bit more, is that, for example, when using that salve or different ailments, physical like bruises or pain that you might experience, oftentimes those could be injuries from 20 years ago. And that's why it's so important to handle and pay such close attention to your condition. Because in the moment, you might think, okay, whatever, I'll push through this. And believe me, I understand how that is. I'm a mom, I work, I have a little kid. I understand how all that is. You push through. But you have to take that moment to stop, to take the things that that allow you, whether it's Revive, the skincare, the regimen, the salve, you help yourself on a daily basis. It's a regimen, it's a lifestyle. You get up every morning and you walk. So why is it not important to get up every morning and also make sure that your condition is correct? Is it so difficult to wake up in the morning and take a formula to make sure that your body's functioning properly?
Right.
So that's what we have to start to think about, because in the long run, it will help so much. And if we all start here with the platform that we have in front of us, and that's exactly why I'm so grateful to be here with all of you, this is our opportunity to start to pay attention to all of that. And not only will this help us, but this will help our kids and our kids' kids. This is what is going to change. I always say, I'm going to change the world. Everyone thinks, oh, Jenelle, but I really mean it. You hear it starts with one person. Well, I don't know how many people are on this call, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not just one person who feels this way. And all of us together, we can do this. Let's make a difference, because how fortunate we are to have the opportunity and the tools to be able to do so. And for myself, and hopefully what I'm getting across today, and I'm sure we'll have more time to talk, with these Bibong formulas, like I said, these are formulas and passed down for centuries that have that power. So we have all of that behind us to just go and share the products. It's not that hard. Take a product and say, here, try this, okay? If someone can't do that, then, we'll have to have another kind of seminar. So, yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn it over. Thank you, Jenelle. I'm going to turn it over to Blake, because I know he wanted to say something to you and to Kannaway Nation as well.
Great. Thanks, Brad.
Hey, everybody. Great to be here with you tonight. Thanks, Jenelle. That was awesome. Here's what I love. Let me move over so I'm not in the dark here. Here's what I love about these webcasts. I'm not a product expert. Jenelle is. And I love this tool because I can get my best and brightest prospects in front of Jenelle to hear straight from Jenelle why these products are awesome, right? And then it makes it so I don't have to talk about the product. That's one of the reasons I love about one of the things I love about this webcast. So make sure next week that you're all on the webcast. Next week we'll have another special guest, and 3 weeks from now, Jenelle and Craig, who you didn't get to meet yet, are going to be back. We've got some exciting things coming this week, everybody. I just want to share with you real quick. I know some people, not everybody knows about this. We're doing kind of an exclusive red carpet fly-in next week. I know some of you know about it, some of you don't. Don't worry, if you don't know about it this time, you're going to have your chance in June. But we're doing a red carpet fly-in, and Jenelle and Craig are actually going to be there as our special guests. And so you're going to get to meet Jenelle and Craig in person if you're coming out. So I hope you got your airplane tickets booked. It's going to be an amazing time. We're launching some special promotions at the fly-in here, and actually we're going to launch the dates for the next fly-in, which isn't going to be sort of by invitation only. This time it's going to be whoever wants to come from the world of Kannaway in June gets to come out, check out our offices, meet everybody, meet Jenelle and Craig, and be part of what we're doing here. Just a couple things I want to mention real quickly before we get off the call tonight. First of all, I want to congratulate all the brand ambassadors. Our sales so far this month are 30% greater than they were at this time last month. Now, you might say, well, that's great for you, Blake. That's great for Kannaway, Blake. I hope it's great for you. You see, I hope your check is 30% bigger this month than it was last month, and there are people whose checks are 30% bigger because of it. I hope that one of those people is you. Kannaway is growing. Here's what I know. This business is going to be bigger a year from now than it is today. Is your check going to be bigger? if you're putting in the work that you need to put in right now on yourself, learning how to do the business and actually getting out there and growing this business, you can capitalize on the growth that we're going to have. So I'm excited to see some of you next week on Monday. We have some amazing things coming. You know, we've been on the webcast already for some time tonight, so I'm not going to share them all. I will share them all next week as I recap our red carpet day here. As we're going to make several announcements on Monday, and we'll make those same announcements here on this webcast next week so that you can hear them as well. I wish you all a great week, and I'll see you next week on the webcast. Bye-bye, everybody.